Hi everyone, I'm Joe. I'm from New York, so Seattle is a great place. I used to intern at Microsoft. So most of the people here, I know, come through microphone in some part of their life. So today I'm mostly going to talk about particularly some of the technologies that we focus on, what we call consumer-facing agents. So if you have used any of the banks before, if you get upgraded to Chase private clients, you get really great, a human, personalized, proactive care. But if you're normal people, you're only getting the self-services for all these kind of consumer-facing applications or products. But in reality, everybody wants to be a VIP client. Everybody wants to get the what we call the white glove service. So using AI to enable this creates huge value towards the end users. So nowadays, people talk so much about the technology, but in the end of the day, we still wanted to see what kind of value can we provide to the end users. No matter you're an infrastructure company, you're a service company, you're a horizontal tooling company, in the end of the day, if you don't move the needle of the end user experience, you don't create value, you don't change the world. So this is always our bet. It's we wanted to enable engineers, AI engineers, product managers to be able to actually build these kind of AI services themselves so they can serve their clients to help their entire business to elevate the customer experience. So this is definitely my what we say, the company vision of Thesis. We don't want it to do the job for you. We want to enable, empower enterprises to be able to deliver that experience themselves. Particularly in my experience, I've been a professor for 8 years. Some of my PhD students, like Clint from Apple, is here too. So I've been mostly working on the conversational agent space. I've been also did a lot of work in terms of company corporate consulting. I did for Point72, a hedge fund. I've done a year with Meta, done several years of Microsoft research, working with different research, specifically application-based research, to see how research can be transitioned into actual products, actual deployment, actual user value change. Okay, so here is one of the products that we have worked with Walmart. It started as what we call collaborations between the school, Columbia, and the Walmart AI labs. So later on, it actually transitioned into a piece of software that we can actually deliver as a tool to support various different enterprises. So here is an example that Walmart Labs is able to use our tool, Arklex, to enable this what we call a pre-sales agent that is now deployed everywhere in their Walmart applications. So if you open up your app stores in a Walmart and sign in, you'll be able to experience this what we call Sparky. So if you've used Amazon instead of Walmart before, so it's very similar to the Rufus experience that you have. So here we're going to show you a little bit of how it works. So this is our application. So for example, if you're looking for a vacuum cleaner, so Sparky actually, one thing that we did before is you can have pre-generated question and answer targeted to that product. And then after, if you don't find any of the information that you want into the generated product question answer pairs, you can actually do free-form question and answer. So this is what we usually call conversational recommendations or conversational product education in general. So it also connects to the existing database of customer reviews of this particular product. And you can have not only typing keywords, but typing real sentences as if you're actually buying the product with retail online, like a retail in real, a physical space, where you're talking to a sort of salesperson in the store. So for example, it can do also contextual understanding. The cordless one means the cordless one of vacuum cleaners, right? We can connect to different catalogs, distribute a catalog in a more visual form. You can also say, I want to hardware floor, I have hardware floor and I want a cheaper option. So you can also compare in terms of what is considered 100. And then you can translate the natural language, bill 100, into more SQL queries to actually filter recommended products. And then here, third one is also contextual understanding, all the previous histories of catalogs we've shown you. here. This one is various different functionalities, particularly on this complex products, for example, vacuums. So you can also definitely then add to cart. So after implementing Sparky, originally we started with vacuum. So vacuum is sort of the most actually important product within Amazon, like a Walmart online shopping experience, because it's relatively expensive, relatively considered purchase, and also it has a great revenue, like a total market in general. And later on, we actually rolled it out to every product within the Walmart apps. So nowadays, if you open a Walmart apps, it's gonna automatically show up in the later part of the bar. So this one is called Sparky.
How can I help you today?
Hi, I'm interested in getting a credit card and one that fits my lifestyle.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to help. Could you share what types of things you usually spend on or any features you're looking for?
So I order a lot of food delivery, especially through Uber Eats. I shop online often, usually Amazon, and I occasionally book travel. I want something flexible when it comes to redeeming rewards.
Thanks for sharing. Based on that, I recommend the Emerald Preferred Card. It's a great match for your habits. You'll earn 3 times points on Uber Eats and DoorDash, 5 times points on travel booked through iChase Travel, $50 annual hotel credit, free year of Dash Pass, 60,000 point welcome bonus worth up to $750 when used for travel.
Sounds good. How do I redeem the welcome points?
Your points are fully flexible. You can redeem them for travel, cashback, statement credits, Amazon purchases, and more. Would you like to apply?
Yeah, could you help me with the application?
Of course. I just sent you a secure link via SMS. Follow the steps, and I'll be here if you need help.
Amazing. Thanks so much.
Awesome. You should hear back in 3 to 7 business days. Enjoy your new perks. Hi, Alex.
The second conversation
Your Emerald Preferred Card has been approved. Congratulations.
Thanks. We talked about a few benefits earlier, but I forgot the details on travel rewards. Could you remind me how that works again?
Absolutely. You'll earn 5 times points on any travel booked through iChase Travel. Plus, you'll get a $50 hotel credit each year.
Got it. What's the annual fee again?
$95. But most customers easily cover that with the welcome bonus worth $750. The rewards are also flexible. You can redeem points for cash, gift cards, Amazon, or travel.
Whoa, amazing. Okay, can I activate the card now?
Sure. I've just sent you a secure activation link via SMS. Let me know if you need anything.
Yep, got it. It's activated.
Great. If you have questions about rewards or Dash Pass, just text or call anytime. Enjoy the perks.
So this is
Thanks a lot, Jordan.
So this is an example that we did was different like a consumer banking, right? So a way that really is make it easier is that you can combine different multimodal inputs, right? You can call them and at the same time send them text messages to make the entire purchase process and entire like upgrade process more complete. You can also more proactively reach out to customers because you know what's going on before. You can actually remind them, for example, your card has already arrived, you just need to activate it. And then make the entire like nurturing process and also the onboarding process more seamlessly as well. So in general, what we are looking into is these kind of democratizing experience for every consumers. So everyone now can have this kind of VIP experience that they used to have, more personalized, more proactive overall. So we really see that there are a lot of like hype about agents. We particularly working on customer-facing agents. Customer-facing agents in some way is very difficult. Mostly is because the communication in itself is very nuanced. And then also it's like a customer facing, though it has like the brand and everything on the line. So it's harder to deploy them because you have to do more validations, more security check, and so on. So compared to back office agents, customer facing agents are more likely to stuck into POC. So proof of concept, oh, the demo is cool, but can we actually productionize it? Can 10,000 people use it at the same time? Do 10,000 people opt off the optimal experience? How do we evaluate the business changes, the value, right? What is the best practice in delivering that value? What is the training process? What is the deployment process? What is like sort of security process? So all of that was missing. And we wanted to really emphasize on like an AI product experience, like especially interactive, scalable AI experience, is have to be designed in a way that iterative over time. So there's just no best practice. Many companies come in and say, hey, we want to do this, but they don't know what does it take to actually do this. What are some pitfalls can you actually avoid it in order to deploy this, right? You don't want to deploy something that was half-baked and then really piss off your end users. Instead of giving them better experience, giving them really bad experience and tarnish your brand. So that's why we say consumer-facing agents is even harder compared to back-office agents for internal tools. The difficulties of deploying them is even harder. So there are a couple of things that we provide, like our Arklex, and in terms of the tooling side. So first of all, we think the agents, first of all, have to learn how to improve itself. Right? Even for the best sales agent, like a human agent, they have to be retooled, re-educated every couple of months about the new product, about the new trend within the customers, and so on, about competitive advantage over other companies, and so on as well. So you can't just expect, oh, we deploy the system, we just let it run, and every month it's going to give me consistent output. Right? Because your customer changes, your agent have to change as well, in order to have this kind of positive, like iterative loop. So how are we able to enable this kind of what we call iterative deployment side? It's not like a SaaS product, you just deploy it, it shouldn't change for the next 6 months, right? So it's something that you wanted to figure out, how can we best organize or do the lifecycle management of these agents, specifically customer facing. So the best practice, what we say is, first of all, you can't test it with your real user when you deploy, when you do design phases and the initial prototyping. So what do? You actually want what we call user simulator. So these are digital humans that are not real users, but are like that can actually give you the same feedback, the same kind of user behaviors you would encounter in your real life. So you can use these kind of user simulator, for example. I'm selling credit cards, right? I wanted to know how people actually respond to my strategies, respond to my questions, what kind of questions they would have when they are talking to my sales agent for credit card selling. So we specifically designed these what we call user simulator that is interactive. Based on the product, based on what kind of the user populations you would deal with, we actually help you to generate these kind of 10,000 digital human beings with different persona profile, experience of your domain knowledge, different level of like your adherence of your product and service. So you can actually use them for product validation, product debugging, product testing, and you can keep using them for regression tests and so on. So for example, like Shopify, they had a Kickstarter agents, right? Every day they have to, every night after like they do like automatic regression tester, right? So, but if it's not interactive, it's a static regression test, you're gonna create so much trouble that you have never imagined before. So interactive regression testing, or sometimes we call it our user simulation, is gonna get your life much easier. You don't have to recruit real human beings to test your system. You just need to have these kind of digital things that you call it whenever you need it. The second part is, once you have these kind of digital human beings, you can, based on their behaviors, to optimize your agent. So every day when you're getting all these kind of new flux of conversations in, you can run the simulator to simulate the similar behaviors that's going to happen next day. And you can use that to improve your agent. And specifically when we say reinforcement learning based agent optimizer, is because we're taking the user's feedback as a reward to help you to optimize. So this is more what we say after you deploy, you still need to keep improving your agent so that the individual user's experience are sort of personalized and proactive over time. So the good thing about reinforcement learning is that it can take these kind of interactions, individual feedbacks, and really optimize towards individual users. The best thing about AI is it's scalable. And it's a way that it can see more information, track longer history, that can give scalable, personalized solution to everybody. And finally, when you're actually dealing 10,000 users, right? At the same time, you would have all these kind of auto-scaling issues. You may, for example, let's just take one provisioning as an example. So for example, people all like to call in at 9 a.m. at Black Friday, right? So you want to make sure that your infrastructure can handle that sudden bursty traffic. What we want to do is that you can know, like, because we are the entire software layers on top of you, so we can do prediction in terms of, oh, tomorrow, what kind of the traffic will look like? What kind of the areas would have more traffic compared to other areas geolocation-wise? So we can do provisions much more elastically. So in this way, you're having more robust, more scalable software infrastructure. So you don't have to pay a lot of money just to have all these kind of redundancies to operate. On the other side is like, of course, you don't do that, and then your software like a services broke all the time. So if you heard about like a Manus, because they didn't do the application first auto scaling, you have all these kind of troubles that my system somehow doesn't work anymore. Oh, I can't have new customers because my infrastructure cannot handle it. So we see like these like three components that actually have to go hand in hand. So, but in the simulator today, I'm going to dive in more deeper because it's like a sort of the entry-level tool you would have to have before your development. And after your development, then you're going to have the other tools to help you to scale, to reduce cost, and improve customer experience in a more automatic services, automatic fashion. So, how do you use user simulation? So specifically, we are focusing on this kind of very natural language communication, multi-turn interaction. It's not I ask you a question, you just reply. We wanted to simulate the entire interaction that after this question, what kind of other things you're going to do. Right? So it's more about we have to have a consistent profile based to this person. He's a 30-year-old woman. What kind of things would he or she do in general? And then we can use that to consistently read and tell what's the next step that he will do. And then of course, we also have to have the application environment. For example, the human beings have to like attach to certain databases about his profile. He needs to do certain tool callings as well from the user side in order to make the conversation more realistic. So how we do it, for example, is we're gonna ask the client, basically our business, like a bank, like your e-commerce platform. We collected what kind of like user profiles they would have, and then based on that survey, based on some database APIs that you give us in terms of catalog, in terms of product information, and then we're gonna generate different like a sets of attributes for different users, and then we're gonna generate their profiles, generate their tasks, and then finally generate 10,000 users, for example. And then these 10,000 users are the people you can create. For example, you want to test your credit card selling agents, you just call. You just make a call to our user, and you'll get 10,000, right? So you get like a sort of API cost. You have all these kind of simulated interactions, and based on that, you can look at agent performance results. And for that, some of that our like applications will do a little bit more in terms of helping you to actually morph your agent architecture or agent orchestration layer to resolve some of the common mistakes. So here we're showing an e-commerce customer support example. So this is on our like open source as well. So you can connect it to like a various Shopify APIs to create this what we call an open source Shopify pre-sales customer support agents. So first, we're gonna talk to your Shopify owner. So you're actually, so for example, ABC Electronics. We ask you to provide us some basic information about your corporation. ABC Electronics is an online retailer specializing in consumer electronics. And then we ask you, what kind of abilities do your agents have? You want us to test you for. So we are an online retailer. For example, the business ops people is going to write the survey answer. We are an online retailer. The usual inquiry type of our customers will be, for example, asking general product information. For example, do you sell tablets? They also like to ask product details. For example, does your tablets use Windows system. They also wanted us to give recommendations. Which phone would you recommend for my dad, blah, 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 right? And also customers, when they talk to us, sometimes they also do order tracking, refund requests, and stuff like that, right? So the business app people would actually tell you what kind of agent capability that they collaborated with the AI product people in terms of the capability of the agent that a consumer are going to be using. And then finally, because these kind of agents sometimes it's not only about satisfying the end user's request, but also may have a certain personal agenda. For example, we want the end user after chatting with us to be able to subscribe to our newsletter, to subscribe to our coupons, or actually not only buy one thing, but actually buy multiple things together, like upselling and cross-selling. And then based on that, we will have like a user simulating on these kind of different aspects to test it. So here is an example interactions we will look like when your agent is going to interact with our simulated user. So this user is what we provided, which is an app. Say, hi, I want to check my order status. Hi, I see that you have 2 recent orders, blah, 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 right? And the user asks the next question, so this is what we simulated for them. When will order 1300 ship? I say order 103 is still pending fulfillment, blah, 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 right? And the user, can you tell me when it might arrive in Seattle? So this is what we generated based on the user profile. And then the agent basically that we test will come back saying, I'm sorry, but I don't have the exact shipping data. Right? This is an opportunity, we're going to flag it for you, and later on you can correct it. So can you give me the customer service email then, if you couldn't tell me, right? So this is sort of intent deductions on the user side. We want to make sure that the profile is very consistent on pushing the things that he wanted to complete. Now, I'm sorry, but I can't provide the customer service email directly, blah, blah, blah. Right? Here's another opportunity to improve. So what we basically help you is generate a report in the end of the day in terms of generating these kind of 10,000 users and being able to also tell you, oh, how many of them completed their needs? 60%. How many of them actually, how long does it take, like 4.5 conversational turns? Did people complete the call to action, which is like, for example, subscribe to our newsletter at 80%. So, and then we also give you flagged conversations, like the orange ones, right? We also tell you some of the warnings and the reasons that these could be an error. For example, this one, the agent cannot get access to your shipping information. And the later one, the agent doesn't have the customer service email information. So these are the 2 parts that we would give you as a hint, so you can fix it yourself. For example, unfortunately, as an AI, we can't really help you to get the customer service email information because it's like domain knowledge that only the business actually provides. But some parts of it, we can help you to improve. For example, like this. This is a very standardized, what we say, errors we have seen many agents make. So this is one like a before and after task graphs. So this is a return order subgraph. So a user come in and say, I want to return my order. And then it detected it's a return order intent. So they're routing to the tool called return order. And the agent says, sorry, there's nothing to return, right? So if you can't fulfill the user's need, you're a problem. A user never has a problem, right? Users are our people that we want to serve. We want to make sure that they are very happy. So here, because when you look at the error, it's actually, if you look at the tracing, now there no valid order that is within return order period, right? But it's very difficult to debug cases like this. But if you use our toolings, we'll be able to say hey, actually this is a common error I've seen in many cases, we can automatically fix it for you. Because you're lacking this very important order status of whether it's fulfilled or unfulfilled to chain the actions together. So instead, I morph into the right order and then say, I want to return my order, and detected the return order intent and does the check order status. And then if the order status is unfulfilled, they should do cancel order instead of return, saying you don't have anything to return. Right? So that now, although we called all these kind of applications in the back, right? But when you're surfacing to the users, you actually never say, hey, you don't have anything to return. Instead, you say, I saw that you ordered 101, kids cab hasn't shipped. would you like me to cancel it? And sure, oh yeah, sure. Right? So it's always helping the user proactively completing its task instead of being very factual about things. So this is a way when you're doing user-facing tasks, this is considered to be a great sort of improvement based on your original task flow. So these are the cases we can automatically help you to morph. But some of the parts of it, unfortunately, the engineers would have to do it. But in a nutshell, what we do is to help the engineers to be more efficient in the process. If the AI can do it for you, you should do other things that are more domain specific that gives you the end user a different experience. Due to the interest of time, we also have other, if you're interested in research specifically. So my company, Arklex, specifically only does developer tools. But I also have my computer science department within Columbia. We also do a lot of research, for example, a multicolor tree search, different a memory augmented multicolor tree search that is specifically on improving reinforcement learning in terms of all kinds of agents. It's either a customer interfacing or a web browsing based tools. Okay, I'll just stop here and then we can sort of do more discussion and question and answer.